today I will be presenting 10 LET-style questions focusing on the survey of Philippine literature in English. So, let's begin. Question number 1. Who is known as the father of Philippine literature in English? So, the correct answer is Jose Garcia Villa. So, Jose Garcia Villa earned this title for being the most prominent literary figure during the early years of Philippine literature in English. So, he used this kind of unique punctuation and style that set him apart globally. So when we say unique Joaquin, he's a national artist and known for historical fiction, but he wasn't the earliest English writer. As well as Carlos P. Romulo, he's famous for speeches and essays, and especially as diplomat, but not for fiction or poetry. And Paz Marquez Benitez wrote the first modern short story in English, but she isn't considered as the father of Philippine literature in English. So, the correct answer is Jose Garcia Villa. Next question. What was the first modern Philippine short story in English? So, the correct answer is Dead Stars. So, Dead Stars was written by Paz Marquez Benitez and it was published in 1925. And it is considered the first modern short story in English in the Philippines. And it was introduced realistic character development and internal conflict. The other stories, like the Small Key, it was written by Paz Latorena and another female writer but came after the Dead Stars. And the footnote to youth, it was written by Jose Garcia Villa's contemporary, and Jose Garcia Villa later wrote that than the Dead Stars. And as well as the My Brother's Peculiar Chicken, it was written by Alejandro Roses, a short story but from a much later period. So next question, who wrote the poem Like the Molave? The correct answer is Rafael Solieta da Costa. So the poem encourages Filipino resiliency and nation building. So Solieta da Costa used the Molave tree as a symbol of strength. The other writers, Nick Joaquin, he was more known for fiction and essays, not poetry. And Manuel Arguilla focused on short stories like My Brother Leon Brought Home a Wife. And Edith Tiempo, she was a poet and fictionist, but not the author of Like the Molave. And next question, what is considered the most prestigious literary award in the Philippines? So, the correct answer is Don Carlos Palanca Memorial Award. So, it was known as the Pulitzer Prize of the Philippines. The Palanca Awards honor outstanding literary works yearly in various languages. The other awards are like the National Artist Award. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award, but not a yearly competition. And the Gawad Balagtas focuses more on contributions in Filipino and regional literature more than less popular than Palanca. And we also have C. Wright Award. So it is a Southeast Asian literary prize and not exclusively Filipino. Next question, we have what literary period focused on patriotic writing despite English suppression? So the correct answer is Japanese. So during the Japanese occupation, writing in English was suppressed, yet writers used symbolic and underground literature to resist. So when we say pre-colonial, no English existed and literature was oral and indigenous. The American English was promoted but not suppressed. And the contemporary, this refers to post-martial law literature. So the correct answer is Japanese. Let's move on to the next question. Which theme is most common in early Philippine literature in English? So the correct answer is nationalism. So in early works, it was focused on Filipino identity, independence, and patriotism during colonial transitions. So, in absurdism, it was rare in Philippine literature and it was more on Western. And the magical realism, it was emerged later, especially in Latin America. And the surrealism, it is uncommon in early Filipino writing. So the correct answer is nationalism. Next question, who is the first female national artist for literature? So the correct answer is Edith Tiempo. So Edith Tiempo received the award in 1999 and she was praised for her lyrical writing style and leadership in creative writing. So the other artists here, we have Gilda Cordero Fernando. She was influential but not awarded national artist. And Paz Marquez Benitez, she was historic but never became national artist. And Karima Polotan, she was a powerful fictionist but also not named as national artist. So the correct answer is Edith Tiempo. Next question, what genre did Nick Joaquin mostly excel in? So, Nick Joaquin mostly excel in historical fiction because Joaquin is known for stories like Mayday Eve and The Woman Who Had Two Novels, which blend Philippine history with drama. Epic poetry, this was more prevalent in pre-colonial times, and the horror fiction, this is not his domain, and his works were more psychological, and the romantic drama, these stories had depth beyond romance. So the correct answer is historical fiction. Next question, who wrote How My Brother Leon Brought Home a Wife? So the correct answer is Manuel Arguilla. He wrote this because this is a classic Filipino short story focusing on love, culture, and acceptance in rural setting. And Benvenido Santos, he focused on Filipino diasporic experiences. And Gregorio Brillantes, He was known for Catholic theme, modern fiction. And N.V.M. Gonzalez wrote about rural life too, but not this specific story. So, the correct answer is Manuel Arquilla. And last question, what best describes Philippine literature in English during the post-war period? The correct answer is rooted in social realism. So after the World War II, writers highlighted poverty, social inequality, and real-life struggles. That leads to the rise of social realism. And when we say they focus on global themes, they became more dominant later during postmodernism. And detached from national identity, so this contradicts the essence of post-war literature. And last, the dominated by translations, so it is original English works were still strong. So the correct answer is rooted in social realism.